thunder on the mountain. It says, people themselves can hear me when I talk with you, and then they will always believe you. Go down now and see that the people are ready for my visit. Sanctify them today and tomorrow, and have them wash their clothes. Then the day after tomorrow, I will come down upon Mount Sinai as all the people watch. Set boundary lines the people may not pass, and tell them, beware. Do not go up in the mountain or even touch its boundaries. Whoever does shall die. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot to death with arrows. Whether man or animal, stay away from the mountain entirely until you hear a ram's horn sounding one long blast, and gather at the foot of the mountain. You shall not use the name of Jehovah your God irrelevantly, nor use it to swear a falsehood. You will not escape punishment if you do. Remember to observe the Sabbath as holy day, which means don't work on Saturdays. 6 days a week are for your daily duties and your regular work, but the seventh day is a day of Sabbath rest before the Lord your God. On that duty you are to not do any work of any kind, nor shall your son, daughter, or slaves, whether men or women, or your cattle, or your house guests. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven, earth, and sea, and everything in them, and rested the seventh day. So he blessed the Sabbath day and set it aside for the rest. Honor your father and your mother, and you may have a long, good life in the land of the Lord your God will give you. You must not murder. You must not commit adultery. You must not steal. You must not lie. You must not be envious of your neighbor's house, or want to sleep with his wife, or want to own his slaves, oxen, donkeys, or anything else he has. All the people saw the lightning and the smoke billowing from the mountain, and heard the thunder and the long, frightening trumpet blast. And they stood at a distance, shaking with fear. They said to Moses, you tell us what God says, and we will obey. And don't let God speak directly to us, or it will kill us. Don't be afraid, Moses, tell them. For God has come in this way to show you his awesome power, so that from now on you will be afraid to sin against him and the people. Okay, I'll go back to the other one too. And and the people, where am I at? And as the people stood in the distance, Moses entered into the deep darkness where God was. And the Lord Moses to be his spokesman to the people of Israel. You are witnesses to the fact that I have made known my will to you from heaven. Remember, you must not make or worship idols made of silver or gold or anything else. The altars you make for me must be simple altars of earth. Offer upon them your sacrifices to me, your burnt offerings and your peace offerings of sheep and oxen. Build altars only where I tell you to, and I will come and bless you there. You may also build altars from stone, but if you do, then you only use uncut stones and boulders. Don't chip or shape the stones with a tool, for that would make them unfit for my altar. And don't make steps for the altar, or someone might look up beneath the skirts of your clothing and see your nakedness. And then, you know what that means? Think about all the church buildings. All right, now let's keep going. It says, so Moses went down to the people, sanctifying them to wash their clothing. He told them, get ready for God's appearance in 2 days from now, and do not have sexual intercourse with your wives. On the morning of the third day, there was a terrific thunder and lightning storm, and a huge cloud came down from upon the mountain, and there was a long blast as from a ram's horn, and all the people trembled. Moses led them out from the camp to meet God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. All Mount Sinai was covered with smoke, because Jehovah descended upon it in the form of fire. The smoke billowed into the sky as from a furnace, and the whole mountain shook with a vicious earthquake. As the trumpet blast grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God thundered his reply. So the Lord came down upon the top of the Mount Sinai and called Moses upon the top of the mountain, and Moses ascended to God. But the Lord told Moses, go back down and warn the people, do not cross the boundaries. They must not come up here to try to see God, for they will die. Even the priests on the duty must sanctify themselves, lest Jehovah destroy them. But the people won't come up into the mountain. Moses protested. He told them not to. He told them to set boundaries around the mountain and to declare off limits because it was reserved for God. But Jehovah said, "Go on down and bring Aaron back with you, and don't let the priests and the people break across the boundaries to try to come up here, or I will destroy them." So Moses went down to the people and told them what God had to say. Then God issued this edit: I am Jehovah your God, who liberated you from your slavery in Egypt. You may worship no other God than me. You shall not make yourselves any idols, any images resembling animals, birds, or fish. You must never bow to any image or worship it in any way. For I, the Lord your God, am very possessive. I will not share your affection with any other God. And when I punish people for their sins, the punishment continues upon the children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren of those who hate me. But I lavish my love upon the thousands of those who love me and obey my commands. He said, "You shall not use any other name of Jehovah your God in irrelevancy, nor use it to swear falsehood. You will not escape punishment if you do. Remember to not observe the Sabbath." Okay, I already read that. Honor your father and mother. You must not murder. You must not lie. You must not be envious. All people saw the lightning and the smoke billowing from the mountain and heard the thunder and the long frightening trumpet blast. And they stood at a distance, shaking with fear. They said to Moses, "You tell us what God says, and we will obey." But Deuteronomy, it says, "Here are the other laws you must obey. If you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall only serve only 6 years and be freed in the seventh, and need to pay nothing to regain his freedom. If he sold himself as a slave before he married, then if he remarried afterwards, only he shall be freed. But if he was married before he became a slave, then his wife shall be freed with him at the same time. But if his master gave him a wife while he was a slave, then they have sons or daughters, the wife and children shall still belong to the master, and he shall go out by himself free. But if the man shall plainly decree, I prefer my master, my wife, and my children, and I would rather not go free, then his master shall bring him before the judges, and shall publicly bore his ear with an awl, and after that he will be a slave forever. If the man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not be freed at the end of 6 years as the men are. If she does not take the man who bought her, then he shall let her be bought back again. But he has no power to sell her to foreigners, since he has wronged her by no longer wanting her after marrying her. And if he arranges an engagement between a Hebrew slave girl and his son, then he may no longer treat her as a slave girl, but he must treat her as a daughter. If he himself marries her and then takes another wife, he may not reduce her food or clothing, or fail to sleep with another, or fail to sleep with her as his wife. If he fails any of these three things, then she may leave freely without payment. Anyone who hits a man so hard that he dies shall surely be put to death. But if it is an accidental act of God and not intentional, then I will appoint a place where he can run and get protection. So this whole time, God's been showing me different things in the Bible since I was a kid. Because I distinctly know somebody who actually did hit somebody to death. That is crazy. It made me think of one person. It said, but if it is accidental, an act of God and not intentional, then I will appoint a place where he can run and get protection. However, if a man deliberately attacks another, intending to kill him, drag him even from an altar and kill him, anyone who strikes his father or mother shall surely be put to death. The kidnapper must be killed, whether he is caught in possession of his victim or already sold him as a slave. Anyone who reviles or curses his mother or father shall surely be put to death. If two men are fighting, and one hits another with a stone, or with his first injuries, or, or his fist and injures him, so that he must be confined to bed, but doesn't die, if later he is able to walk again, even with a limp, the man who will hit him will be innocent, except that he must pay for the loss of the time until he is thoroughly healed and pay medical expenses. If a man puts a slave to death, whether the slave is male or female, that man shall surely be punished. However, If the slave does not die for a couple of days, then the man shall not be punished, for the slave is his property. If two men are fighting, and in the process hurt a pregnant woman, so that she has to miscarry, if she lives, then the man who injured her shall be fined whatever amount the woman's husband shall demand, as the judge approves. That made me think of somebody else too. But if any harm comes to a woman and she dies, he shall be executed. If her eye is injured his. If her tooth is knock out his. So on, hand for hand, foot for foot, bird for bird, wound for wound, lash for lash. If a man hits his slave in the eye, whether a man or a woman, and the eye is blinded, then the slave shall go free because of his eye. If a master knocks out his slave tooth, he shall let him go free to pay for the tooth. If an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned and its flesh not eaten, but the owner shall not be held, unless the ox was known to the gore people in the past, and the owner had not been notified, and still the ox was not kept under control. In the case, if it kills someone, the ox shall be stoned, and the owner also shall be killed. But the dead man's relatives may accept a fine instead, if they wish. The judges may determine the amount. The same laws holds if the ox gores a boy or a girl. But if the ox gores a slave, whether male or female, the slave's master shall be given 30 pieces of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. If a man digs a well and doesn't cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the well shall pay full damages to the owner of the animal, and the dead animal shall belong to him. If a man's ox injures another, and it dies, then the two owners shall sell the live ox and divide the price between them, and each shall also earn half of the dead ox. But if the ox was known from the past experience to gore, and its owner has not kept it under control, then there will be a division of income, but the owner of the living ox shall pay in full for the dead ox, and the dead one shall be his. If a man steals an ox or sheep, it kills. If a man steals an ox or sheep and kills or sells it, he shall pay a fine of 5 to 1, or 5 ox shall be returned for each stolen one. For sheep, the fine shall be 4 or 1. Or sheep returns for each sheep stolen. If the thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is killed, the one who has killed him is not guilty. But if it happens in daylight, it must be presumed to be murder, and the man who kills him guilty. If a thief is captured, he must make full restitution. If he can't, then he must be sold as a slave for his debt. If he is caught in the act of stealing a live ox or a donkey or a sheep, or whatever it is, he shall pay double the fine. If someone deliberately lets his animal loose and it gets into another man's vineyard, or if he turns it into another man's field to graze, he must pay for all the damages by giving the owner of the field or vineyard an equal amount of the best of his own crop. If the field is being burned off and the fire gets out of control and goes into another field so that the grain are destroyed, the one who started the fire shall make full restitution. If someone gives money or goods to anyone to keep him, or it is stolen, the thief shall pay double if he is found. But if no thief is found, then the man to whom the valuables were entrusted shall be brought before God to determine whether or not he himself has stolen his neighbor's property. In every case in which an ox, donkey, sheep, clothing, or anything else is lost, and the owner believes that he is found in the possession of someone else who denies it, both parties to the dis- both parties to dispute shall come before God for decision. The one whom God declares guilty shall pay double to the other. If a man asks his neighbor to keep a donkey, ox, sheep, or any other animal from him, it dies, or it is hurt, or gets away, and there is no eyewitness to report just what happened to it, then the neighbor must take an oath that he has not stolen it, and the owner must accept his word, and no restitution shall be made for it. But if the animal or property has been stolen, the neighbor caring for it must repay the owner. If it was attacked by some wild animal, he shall bring the torn carcass to confirm the fact, and shall not be required to make restitution. If a man borrows an animal or anything else from a neighbor, and it is injured or killed, and the owner is not there at the time, then the man who borrowed it must pay for it. But if the owner is there, he need not pay. And if it is rented, then he need not pay, because the possibility was included in the original rental fee. If a man seduces a girl who is not engaged to anyone and sleeps with her, he must pay the usual dowry and accept her as his wife. But if her father utterly refuses to let her marry him, then he shall pay the money anyway. A sorcerer shall be put to death. Anyone having sexual relations with an animal shall certainly be executed. Anyone sacrificing to any other god than Jehovah shall be executed. You must not oppress a stranger in any way. Remember yourselves were foreigners in the land of Egypt. You must not exploit widows or orphans. If you do so in any way, and they cry to me for help, I will surely give it, and my anger shall flare out against you, and I will kill you with enemy armies, so that your wives will be widows and your children fatherless. If you lend money to a needy fellow Hebrew, you are not to handle the transaction in an ordinary way with interest. If you take his clothing as a pledge of his repayment, you must let him have it back at the night, for it is probably his only one. How can he sleep without it? If you don't return it and he cries to me for help, I will hear and be very gracious to him at your expense, for I am very compassionate. You shall not blaspheme God, nor curse government officials, your judges, and your rulers. You must be prompt in giving me the tithe of your crops and your wine, and the redemption payment for your oldest son, as the firstborn of the oxen and the sheep. Give it to me on the 8th day, after leaving it with its mother for the 7 days. And since you yourselves are holy, my special people, do not eat any animal that has been attacked and killed by a wild animal. Leave its carcass for the dogs to eat. Do not pass along untrue reports. Do not operate with evil men by affirming on witness stand something you know is false. Do not join mobs intent on evil. When on the witness stand, don't be swayed in your testimony by the mood of your majority present, and do not slant your testimony in favor of a man just because he is poor. If you come upon if you come upon the enemies if you come upon the enemy's ox or donkeys that has strayed away, you must take it back to its owner. If you see your enemy trying to get his donkey onto its feet beneath a heavy load, you must not go on by, but must help him. A man's poverty is no excuse for twisting justice against him. And that's why I'm so blessed, because even though people have done terrible things to me, I still help them. Keep far away from the falsely charging anyway with evil. Never let an innocent person be put to death. I will not stand for this. Take no bribes for a bribe. Make sure you are unaware of what you clearly see. A bribe hurts the cause of the person who is right. Do not oppress foreigners. You know what it's like to be a foreigner. Remember your own experience in the land of Egypt. Sow and reap your crops for 6 years, but let the land rest and lie fallow during the 7th year, and let the poor among the people harvest any volunteer crops that may come up. Leave the rest for the animals to enjoy. The same rules apply to your vineyards and your olive groves. Work 6 days only and rest on the seventh. This is to give your ox and donkeys a rest, as well as the people of your household, your slaves, and your visitors. Be sure to obey all of these instructions and to remember never to mention the name of any other god. There are 3 annual religious pilgrimages you must make. The first pilgrimage of unleavened bread, when for 7 days you are not to eat bread with yeast, just as I commanded you before. This celebration is to be an annual event at the regular time in March, the month you left Egypt. Everyone must bring me a sacrifice at that time. Then there is a harvest pilgrimage, when you must bring to me the first of your crops. And finally, the pilgrimage of the ingathering at the end of the harvest season. At these 3 times of year, every man in Israel shall appear before the Lord God. No sacrificial blood shall be offered with leavened bread and no sacrificial fat shall be left unoffered until the next morning. As you reap each of your crops, bring them bring me the choosiest sample of your first day's crop harvest. It shall be offered to the Lord your God, and that means your money. Do not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. See, I am sending an angel before you to lead you safely to the land I have prepared for you. Reverence him and obey all the instructions, and do not rebel against him, for he will not pardon your transgression. He is my representative; he bears my name. But if you are carefully to obey him, follow all of my instructions, then I will be an enemy to your enemies. For my angel shall go before you and bring you into the land of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Havites, and Jebusites to live there. And I will destroy those people before you. You must not worship the gods of other nations, nor sacrifice to them in any way. And you must not follow the evil example of these heathen people. You must utterly conquer them and break down their shameful idols. You shall serve the Lord your God only. Then I will bless you with food and with water, and I will take away sickness from among you. There will be no miscarriages, no barrenness throughout your land, and you will live out in of the full quota of the days of your life. See, I told you we're supposed to be living for hundreds of years. The reason we're not is because we're evil. Well, not me. I gave you for y'all. The terror of the land shall fall upon all the people whose land you invade, and they will flee before you. And I will send hornets to drive out the Hittites, Canaanites, Hittites from before you. I will not do it to all. I will not do it to you in all 1 year, for the land would become a wilderness, and the wild animals would become too many to control. But I will drive them out a little at a time, until your population has increased enough to fill the land. I will set your enlarged boundaries from the Red Sea to the Philistine coast, and from the southern deserts as far as the Euphrates rivers. And I will cause you to defeat the people who now living in the land, and you will drive them out ahead of you. You must not make no covenant with them, nor anything to do with their gods. Do not let them live among you. Meaning, if you let them come on your land and you think you're going to fight them, he said, do not let them live among you. For I know they will infect you with their sin of worshiping false gods, and that would be an utter disaster to you. It says, the Lord now instructed Moses, come up here with Aaron, Nabab, Abihu, and 70 of the eldest elders of Israel. All of you except Moses are to worship at a distance. Moses alone shall come near the Lord. And remember, none of the ordinary people are permitted to come up into the mountain at all. Then Moses announced to the people and all the laws and regulations God has given him. And the people answered in unison, we will obey them all. Moses wrote down the laws, and the next morning, he built an altar at the foot of the mountain with 12 pillars around the altar because there were 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent some of the young men to sacrifice the burnt offerings and peace offerings to the Lord. Moses took half of the blood, took half of the blood of these animals and drew it off into the basins. The other half he splashed against the altar as he read to the people the book had written, the book of covenant containing God's sacrifices. Oh, guys, you know what like acne is? Acne is not acne. Acne and what is it called when people have eczema? That shit is leprosy. That means your family is cursed. I've never had acne, bitch. Ever. That's what that means. It has nothing to do with puberty. That's fucking leprosy. It says, and he read to the people the book he had written, the book of the covenant, containing God's directions and laws. And the people said again, we solemnly promise to obey every one of these rules. Then Moses threw the blood from the basins towards the people and said, this blood confirms and seals the covenant that the Lord has made with you in giving these laws. These Moses, Aaron, Nabab, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up in the mountain, and they saw the God of Israel. Under his feet there seemed to be a pavement of brilliant sapphire stones as clear as the heavens. Yet, even though elders saw God, he did not destroy them. And they had a meal together before the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me into the mountain and remain until I give you the laws and commandments I have written on the tablets of stone, so that you can teach the people from them." So Moses and Joshua, his assistant, went up into the mountain of God. He told the elders, "Stay here and wait for us until we come back. If there are any problems while I am gone, consult with Aaron and Hur." Then Moses went up to the mountain and disappeared into the cloud at the top. Then, and the glory of the Lord rested upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it. Covered it. The cloud covered it 6 days. Then the seventh day, he called man called up Moses from the cloud. Those at the bottom of the mountain saw the awesome sight. The glory of the Lord of the mountain top looked like a raging fire. And then Moses appeared. And then Moses appeared into the cloud covered mountain and was there for 40 days and 40 nights. Jehovah said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel that everyone who wants to may bring me an offering from this list: gold, silver, bronze, blue cloth, purple cloth, scarlet cloth, fine twined linen, goat's hair, red skin, goat skins, acacia wood, olive oil for the lamps, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, oxen stones, stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. For I want the people of Israel to make me a sacred temple where I can live among them. This home of mine shall be a tent pavilion, a tabernacle. I will give you a drawing of the construction plan and the details of each furnishing. Using acacia wood, make an ark 3 3/4 feet long, 2 1/4 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. Overlay it inside and outside with pure gold, with a molding of gold all around. Cast 4 rings of gold for it and attach them to the four lower corners, 2 rings on each side. Make poles from acacia wood overlaid with gold, and fit the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to carry it. These carrying poles shall never be taken from the rings, but are to be left there permanently. When the ark is finished, place inside the tablets of stone I will give you, then the 10 Commandments engraved on them, and make a lade of pure gold, 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide. This is the place of mercy for your sins. Then make images of angels, using beaten gold, and place them at the 2 ends of the lid of the ark. They shall be one piece with the mercy place, one at each end. At the cherubim, the angels shall be facing each other, looking down upon the place of mercy, and shall have wings spread out above the gold lid. Install the lid upon the ark, and place within the ark the tablets of the stone I shall give you. And I will meet with you there, and talk with you from above the place of the mercy. Between the cherubim and the ark will continue the laws of the covenant. There I will tell you my commandments for the people of Israel. Then make a table of acacia wood, 3 feet long, 1.5 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. Overlay it with pure gold, and run a grid of gold around it. Put a molding 4 inches wide around the edges of the top, and the gold ridge along the molding all around. Make 4 golden rings, and put the rings at the outside corner of the 4 legs, close to the top. These are 4 rings for the poles that will be used to carry the tables. Make the poles from the acacia wood overlaid with gold, and make gold dishes, spoons, pitchers, and flagons, and always keep special bread of the presence on the table before me. Make a lampstand of pure beaten gold. The entire lampstand and its decorating shall be one piece: the base, the shaft, the lamps, and the blossoms. It will have 3 branches going out from each side of the center shaft, each branch decorated with 3 almond flowers. The central shaft itself will be decorated with 4 almond flowers, one placed between each set of branches. Also, there will be one flower above the top set to the branch, and one below the bottom set. These decorations and branches and the shaft are all to be one piece of pure beaten gold. Then make 7 lamps for the lampstand and set them so that they reflect their light forward. The snuffers and trays are to be made of pure gold. You will need about 107 pounds of pure gold for the lampstand and its accessories. Be sure that everything you make follows the pattern I am showing you here on the mountain. Make the tabernacle tent from 10 colored sheets of fine twined linen, 42 feet long and 6 feet wide, dyed blue, purple, and scarlet with cherubim embroidered on them. Join 5 sheets end to end for each side of the tent, forming 2 long pieces, one from each side, using loops at the edges. To join these 2 long pieces together, side by side, there are to be 50 loops on each side, opposite each other. Then make 50 golden cloths to fasten the loops together, so that the tabernacle, the dwelling place of God, becomes a single unit. The roof of the tabernacle is made of goat's hair. Tabulums. There are to be 11 of these tarpaulins, each 45 feet across the 6 feet wide. Connect 5 of these tarpaulins into one section and use the other 6 for another wide section. The 6 tarpaulins will be handing down to the form of a curtain across the front of the sacred tent. Use 50 loops along the edges of each of these 2 wide pieces to join them together with 50 bronze clasps. Thus, the 2 widths between become one. There will be 1.5 foot length of these roof covering hanging down from the back of the tent, and 1.5 foot length at the front. On the top of these blankets is placed a layer of ram skins, dyed red, and over them at the top layers of goat's milk, of goat skin. This completes the roof covering. The framework of the sacred tent shall be made from acacia wood, each frame piece being 15 feet high and 2.5 feet wide, standing upright with rails on each side of the mortise into the next upright pieces. 20 of these frames will form the south side of the sacred tent, with 40 silver bases for the frames to fit into the 2 bases under each piece of the frame. On the north side, there will also be 20 of these frames, with their 40 silver bases, 2 bases for each frame, one under each edge. On the west side of there will be 6 frames and 2 frames at each corner. These corner frames will be connected at the bottom top with clamps. So in all there will be 8 frames on that day. And that all of these will be 8 frames on that end of the building with 7 silver bases for the frames. 2 bases under each frame. Make bars of acacia wood to run across the frames. 5 bars on each side of the tabernacle. Also, 5 bars for the rear of the building, facing westward. The middle bar, halfway up. The frames runs all the way end to end of the tabernacle. Lay frames with gold, and make gold rings to hold the bars, and also overlay the bars with gold. Set up this tabernacle tent in the manner I showed you in the mountain. Make a veil from blue, purple, and scarlet cloth, the fine twined linen, with cherubim embroidered into the cloth. Hang this upon the 4 acacia pillars, overlaid with gold, with 4 golden hooks. The pillars are to rest in 4 silver bases. Hang the curtains from the hooks. Behind this curtain, place the ark containing the stone tablets engraved with God's laws. The curtain will be separate from the holy place and the most holy place. Now, install the mercy place, the golden lid of the ark, in the most holy place. Place the table and the lampstand across the room from each other on the outer side of the veil. The lampstand will be on the south side of the holy place, and the table on the north side, as the screen from the door of the sacred tent. Make another curtain from skillfully embroidered blue, purple, and scarlet fine twined linen. Hang up this curtain on 5 acacia woods posted overlaid with gold and with hooks and bronze socket for each pillar. Use an acacia wood. Make a square altar 7.5 feet wide and 3 feet high. Make horns for the four corners of the altars. Attach them firmly and overlay everything with bronze. The ash buckets, shovels, basins, carcass hooks, and fire pans are all about to be made of bronze. Make a bronze grating with a metal ring at each corner, and fit the grating hallway down into the firebox, resting it upon the ledge of built-in. For moving the altar, make poles from acacia wood overlaid with bronze. To carry it, put the poles into the rings at each side of the altar. The altar is to be hollow, made from planks, just as was shown you on the mountain. Then make a country yard for the tabernacle enclosed with curtains made from the fine twined linen. On the south side of the curtain will stretch for 150 feet and be held upon the 20 posts fitting into 20 bronze post holders. The curtains will be held up with silver hooks attached to silver rods attached to posts. It will be the same on the north side of the court. 150 feet of curtains held up by 20 posts fitted into bronze sockets with silver hooks and rods. The west side of the court will be 70 feet wide and with 10 posts and 10 sockets. The east side will also be 75 feet. On each side of the entrance, there will be 22.5 feet of curtain held up by 3 posts embedded in the 3 sockets. And that's why Einstein was so smart. It wasn't that that nigga was smart. He was connected to God. That's why he had a deeper understanding of a lot of things that a lot of kids, it has nothing to do with intelligence. It has to do with your connection to God. It says the west side of the court will be 70. It says the entrance to the court will be 30-foot wide curtain made of beautifully embroidered blue, purple, and scarlet fine twined linen, and attached to 4 posts embedded into their 4 sockets. All the posts around the court are to be connected by the silver rods, using the silver hooks. The posts being embedded in solid bronze bases, so the entire court will be 150 feet long and 75 feet wide, with curtain walls, 7.5 feet high, made from fine twined linen. All the utensils used in the work of the tabernacle, including all the pins and pegs for hanging the utensils of the walls, will be made of bronze. It says, instruct the people of Israel to bring your pure olive oil to use the lamps of the tabernacle to burn there continually. Aaron and his sons shall place this eternal flame in the outer holy room, tending it day and night for the Lord, so that it never goes out. This is a permanent rule for the people of Israel. All right, I'm gonna take a break because I actually have to ask my so that's important. Follow that shit to a T. That's what's wrong with the world. You don't fucking listen. It's in the Bible. Told us exactly how to do everything. Y'all niggas be doing what you want to do. That's the problem. And that's why the world is so bad. And evil. Because we don't listen. That's why everybody's sick. It's called leprosy. We done made up some names for that shit. Any sickness is leprosy. It's not a good sign.
Hints of fresh leather. Bold new features. Get paired with our newest fleet yet.
Frizz putting up a fight? You need new Everpure Iron Sleek Coat by L'Oreal Paris. Our first semi-permanent smoothing treatment, formulated with sleek care complex without the
If you
acids,
don't like my
activated by heat
interpretations
for
of the
water-resistant style,
Bible,
and 7 days of frizz control. Everpure Iron Sleek by L'Oreal Paris.
I'm not arguing with you. I really don't care about your opinion.
East Coast feeling, West Coast feeling, dirty South. Here we go. Can y'all really feel me, baby girl? East Coast feeling, West Coast feeling, dirty South, dirty, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? East Coast feeling, West Coast feeling, dirty South, dirty.
Yeah, if you're 6'0", I got and nothing can hear you but that.
I've been watching you like the hope in the sky. My spray. But I promise you, if we keep bumping heads, I know that one of these days we gon' put it back
In this whole bitch.
That's good. I've been holding back this secret from you.
It's all a scam. Even paying taxes is a scam. They've been lying to us for years. He's shaking this shit. I know I'm right.
Say yes or say no, 'cause I need somebody. Tell me that's right. Won't you pick me up?
And that's why fucking Choppa made that song. It's getting hot in here. And then when I had
I'll be waiting there with my tricks, my lows, just so I'm low key.
Obama warned me. He said heat advisory. Fucking heat advisory. Like, oh no, this bitch was blow up.
See, I'm trusting you, my heart, my soul. I probably shouldn't let you speak. If I let this go, you can tell nobody. I'm telling my nobody. I hope you're
They've known about this for years. They knew this thing was coming. Why do you think all these billionaires and bought all these bunkers? They think that shit's gonna save them. It's not.
Cause I need somebody. Tell you that somebody.
I'm the man from the big B. Hey, would you come play round my way? Do what I gotta say. Hey, don't you know I am the man? Rock show head to Benjamin. I people shake my hand. Baby girl, better known as Ali. Ali, give me one bus.
Keep on.
Gotta tell somebody.
Cause I need somebody. Tell you that somebody.
That's why
If I let this go, you can't tell nobody. I'm telling my nobody. Are you responsible? Boy, I gotta watch my back. Stop it, just
now it makes sense.
Is it my fault? Is it your fault? Sometimes I make good. I don't know. Say yes or say no. Cause I need somebody. Tell me that somebody. You can't tell nobody. I'm telling my
No, but it collects it at the bottom. I got a key collector, and it's in the scraper. See, I already have a lot of keys, and I just bought this. I already have it because my key collector is very small. Is it my goal? Is it your goal? Sometimes I'm very good. Right now I'm not enough. And if I'm correct, cause I need somebody. Tell me there's somebody. You can tell nobody. I'm telling nobody.
You travel a lot for work, but that doesn't mean you should be a part-time travel agent. There must be a better. No, I'm not gonna say it. Let me just show you. This is Navon Edge, the personal assistant for frequent business travelers.
so
Just like you, Mark. Navon Edge learns what.
I told you, I meant to that. This nigga was like, anything can happen. Bitch, no, I know God. If I tell that nigga to heal you, he'll heal you.
With a pop, brace yourself as I ride on top. Close your eyes as you ride, right out your side. Don't lose mine as he grind. Wanna give me the cash you made off that little nasty girl. Won't pass me the world. I push the beat, not the backseat girl. Don't be broke, you see, no, she floats. Murder, she wrote, keeps the heat close. First, we supposed to be the illest on 3 coats. But any y'all, bigger than egos. Y'all can't even beat those marks. All I see is the penny pieces, that's all. No shark in this year, raise the bigger. 15% make the whole world sitter. And take notice, not I take over. Y'all take over.
Straight out the gate, y'all, we drop hits to tell me how nasty you get. All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure. That's right, we drop hits to tell me how nasty you get. All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure.
I'll be down.
Nasty as I wanna be.
Man, don't shake your sense in front of me. Before I take it there and tear you back out.
What happens is the map is down. Roll the banana, dripped in Gabbana. 90 style, finest style. Run away from this, wanna taste it. Put me on a base and throw your face in it. Nah, y'all can't touch it. My tip drive all night like a trucker. Let alone the skills I possess. Y'all won't see by the skills I possess. Never settle for less. I'm in excess, not inexpensive. BBS, too. That's just the way I'm good. Nasty, world class.
Straight out the gate, y'all, we drop hits to tell me how nasty can you get. All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure. That's right, we drop hits to tell me how nasty can you get. All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure. You can hold what I got, roll with the rock.
So that letter that y'all sent with that thing that said, "Are you sure you're going to heaven?" That wasn't about me at all.
Big man, I get you locked like Biggie with Herb in the spot. Word, Biggie, the cop, the Diddy. I'm the bomb, Biggie, Panani, sexy brown thing. So down, yeah, make a turnover from the full court pressure, the undresser. All that we got. I ain't playing, knock it out at the wheel. I'm saying, what's the sense in the layer? I'm trying to run G from the P to the AM. I saw you something, I'm swaying the cage.
Somebody else.
Straight out the gate, y'all, we drop hits to tell me how nasty can you get. All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure. That's right, we drop hits to tell me how nasty can you get. All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure.
It is my waiting on the morning and not my feet. It is my waiting on the morning and not my feet. It is my weapon from the
Okay, Lamborghini Mercy. Yo, chick, she's so dirty. I'm in that 2C Lambo with your girl. She tryna
This shit is fun. I don't
Lamborghini Mercy. Yo, chick, she's so dirty. I'm
This
in
is
that
better
2C
than
Lambo with your girl. She
y'all.
tryna
Y'all crazy.
Lamborghini Mercy. Yo, chick, she's so dirty. I'm in that 2C Lambo with your girl. She tryna okay, Lamborghini Mercy. Yo, chick, she's so dirty. I'm in that 2C Lambo with your girl. She tryna jerk me.
Drop it to the flow. I still can't believe it. That's an ass quake. Build a house up on that ass. That's an ass state. Roll my weed on it. That's an ass trait. Say, hey, don't we do this every day? I worked them long nights to get a payday. Finally got paid, now I need shade and the vacation.
Sorry.
So much hate, I need that.
I turned it down.
Now we out, baby.
Yeah, they about to go in the house and start drinking my shit. Yeah, but
I'm still dropping this Pac-Man, this pill popping asshole. I'm dropping to these new dogs, these two cars. She wanted some shield money. All she needed some real money. Time. I posted up, that's what you want.
turning that's exorcist. My heart is all like Mardi Gras. That's this time and that's excellence. Too good, preference. Who's good on your deficit? That white frost on that pound cake, so your Dunkin' Hines is irrelevant. Woo! Lambo, Mercy, Lago, she go wherever I go, wherever we go, we do it pronto. It's like
Don't treat me so dirty. I'm in that juicy Lambo with your girl. I'm dirty. Lamborghini Mercy. Don't treat me so dirty. I'm in that juicy Lambo with your girl. I'm dirty.
I'm about to finish smoking. About to stop.
suicide on the tour bus. Suicide on the private jet. You know what that means? I'm not as I step into the 10 building like I'm the shit. Tell them give me 50 million and I quit. Most rappers take that foot and at my waist that foot. Turn up the bass till it's up in your face. That foot don't do no press, but I get the most press kid. Plus show my bitch make your bitch look like fresh. Talking about Mary, she gone off that Molly. Now the whole party is melting like Charlie. That everybody is moving their body. Don't sell me apartment, I move in the lobby. Niggas is good, important. You gon' see lawyers and niggas enjoy.
Motherfucking business.
Coca-Cola, a mayonnaise. I'm drunk and high at the same time, drinking champagne on the airplane. Spit rounds like a gun range, beat it up like rampage. 100 bands, touch girl near yo.
I just be smoking weed and minding my motherfucking business. That's it. That's all. I know, bitch. It's crazy. This is crazy. It's a good thing though, because I've been grieving for years. I knew this day was gonna come years ago. 3 years ago to be exact. And I didn't know all this was gonna happen. I know that. But I knew certain shit. Oh, I've been here. I was grieving for 3 years. I just didn't know when it was gonna come, but I knew that shit was coming. Been knew it. I grieved that shit for 3 years. Okay now. Especially because they were terrible to me. It would have been different if they was good to me. At least I might feel a certain type of way, but they treated me like shit. The grass. No, you were part of my biggest problem of my life. Problem on. Literally. You were one of my biggest problems in my life. Problem gone. It'd have been different if they would have treated the niggas good. But no, they all treated me bad. I don't feel bad. Baby, I am a little fucked up about that, but I'm actually happy. It's like a bittersweet thing, because now she's gonna be working these motherfucking demons. She's not gonna have to grow fucked up. These little weird ass kids. That's a good thing. Whoop somebody's ass about playing with mine. I don't play. I'll go to prison about mine. That's the difference between me and y'all. Y'all be key, bitch. I will spend my life in prison about my baby. So that eliminated me having to go to prison. don't play about my baby. Anybody, I cuss anybody out about her. I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna be mistreating mine because you had a bad day. I don't even yell at her. So what the fuck you think you gonna yell at her for? And what do you know? She listens to me. You don't gotta yell. That's great. You don't have to kill her mom. Yeah. I know what you did to her. And your karma is coming. See, I knew I didn't like that bitch. Something about her. I'm always right. I knew I didn't like her. Couldn't put my finger on it all the way. I knew she was a weirdo, but I knew I didn't like her. My instincts were right. Most people that try to point the finger at other people are the one that's guilty. It's a deflection thing. You want to point the blame on somebody else so that nobody's looking at you. I don't even answer them type of questions. I'm blessed and highly favored by God. That's my answer to that. For you, we do not argue with the blessed. Don't argue with the stressed. I'm wasting my time arguing with you motherfuckers for no reason. I'm ashamed. Wasted time. That's why I said the body been chilling on the boat. While the waves rock. That's what I'm doing right now while the waves is rocking. Just chilling on the boat with Jesus. Not worried at all. That's why I said, if you follow him, you don't got shit to be worried about. If you don't, I'd be terrified. He's not making me tell y'all to panic. He's making me tell y'all to run to him before it's too late. It's not to scare you. There's no reason to be scared. Shit. It's life. You live and you die. It's a part of life. We all got our day. And that's why you gotta live like that. Because you never know. Huh? right, y'all. I got some things to do. I'll be back on in a little bit.